The Atomic Real Estate Show, bringing you the real estate of real estate. Brought to you by Danny Bennett Productions in partnership with Direct Subs.
This episode is sponsored by L.K. Miller. L.K. Miller has proudly been serving the greater Philadelphia area's commercial construction needs since 1990. As a commercial general contractor, whether it's office, medical, industrial, retail, or beyond, L.K. Miller has been building it for 3+ decades. To learn more, call President Jason Scholl at 484-213-8793 or email him at jason.scholl, SCHOLL, at lkmiller.net. Check out their website, www.lkmillerinc.com, and follow them on Instagram at LKMCommercial.
Hey guys, Ryan Dolan here, back with another episode of the Atomic Real Estate Show. Nick Cessna here as always, and we have an awesome guest here and friend, Sam Vasaturo. I'm practicing the new last name, the last name. You know, we've known each other for 25 years here, so you've been.
Yeah, I'm not used to it either.
Yeah, I know. It's just taking a minute.
A lot of people aren't.
I practice on it. So either way, we are here. We want to learn it. Sam is a real estate agent with Coldwell Banker and Conshohocken. Have you been an agent for 13, 14 years now?
13 years.
Wow.
Amazing.
Crazy.
So 13 years in the game, and I knew her before she was even an agent. So we're going to talk about a lot of cool things that are coming up. One, the Harry Street story is an excellent story for local buyers, investors, real estate agents, how to play this game and how to kind of work together. Another one is just like your story, right? So thanks for being here. We appreciate it.
Of course.
13 years you said you've been in the game, and how are you feeling right now in this market?
Every day is different. Most days are more stressful than not, but just keep my head down and keep it moving.
Yeah, I mean, you keep like in this industry, you seem to have a very even personality, right? You just take it slow. You kind of work through a lot of things, communication. I mean, we have a lot of deals going on.
Yeah, you don't show the stress. Like I've never noticed you stressed out. I'm sure you are in this business, right? But every interaction I've ever had with you, you've never projected stress
like
in
a
any
stress
way, shape.
bomb.
At all.
Most
like
agents seem like they're going to. A lot of agents seem
you
like they're
seem pretty
pop.
fucking unbothered.
Yeah,
I
which
try.
is good.
I internalize it, which probably is not good.
Yeah.
And you probably asked my husband, different story.
Sure.
Once I go home, but
Yeah.
I try not to make anyone around me feel like, oh, well, if she's stressed, I should be stressed, because it's not good for clients. It's not good for anyone, right? So let me take on your stress and reply calmly and help you get through things.
I think that's one of the reasons. I mean, I'm sure there's many reasons, but that's probably a main reason why you've been doing this full time for 13, 14 years, because you're not a person that projects those things, or like it's not the end of the world. Like you're gonna bridge that gap between your clients and the bullshit.
Right, and try to get whatever done that needs to be done. And if it really is stressful and a bad choice, I'm going to talk you out of doing it, which sometimes hurts me, but I think in the long run helps.
Now, 13, 14 years, has it always been full-time, or was it like a side at first? And like, did you do any other jobs until it took off where you could maintain the support, the financial support on your own?
So I guess I was lucky, or, a more unique story. I feel like a lot of people, real estate is a second career.
Sure.
I was 23 when I got my license.
Okay.
So I was living at home. I was working a full-time job. I worked in a daycare. So for the first year or so, I kept my full-time job just to make money.
Sure.
And then after that, I just went in full-time, but I didn't have a lot of expenses.
Just dove in the deep end.
Yep.
Who got you in, and how did you get in? What was the story?
So I took the classes in college at Temple as elective business classes, and I enjoyed it.
So you were at Temple as a student? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Wow.
Yep, I went to Temple. I took them as an elective business class just to graduate.
Everybody should do this, by the way.
And
Everybody
I actually
should take a
really,
real estate
I
course
enjoyed
or a
it.
business course on real estate.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, if you're going to be a functioning member of society as an adult, you can, you should probably know about real estate and taxes and all that. We don't teach anybody about the stuff in high school.
People don't know how to write checks anymore.
Dude, my wife had to teach a girl at Settlement how to write a check for the first time. She was like 30.
That's concerning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not her fault.
No, she's not taught.
She's never had to write a check before in her life. right? So it's like, it's
crazy.
just kind of,
My brain's having a hard time computing. Sorry.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
just
right.
It doesn't make
I'm
sense.
trying to figure it out. But yeah, well, look, we're seeing a lot of changes, right? 13 years. I've been almost 18 years, and you've been, almost probably 20. It's so we're seeing a lot of changes. Obviously, things that supercharge our industry, technology, AI, all this stuff.
Yeah.
But you've kept your business model relatively the same. I feel like, at least for me. I mean, obviously, you adapt with what's going on in the markets, but like, you're just a really one-on-one white glove kind of boutique agent in my eyes. Like,
Yes.
you're great with the listing side. You're a hustler on the buy side. So tell us kind of like, what kind of agent do you see yourself? And like, when people approach you, what are they coming to you for?
Yeah, so I sometimes am too honest, I think.
Yeah, I think
And
so.
I
love
have
that.
Yeah, me
I
too.
love that.
I
That's
have
great.
talked people out of buying houses probably as much as I've convinced them that the house we're in is the right house for them.
because
I'm
you're not worried about the commission.
I'm not looking at anybody like they're just a paycheck, right? Like, we all have to get paid for our work at the end of the day, right? That's how I make a living, keep a roof over my head. But they're a person. Most people do what? 2 maybe transactions buying and selling a house in their lifetime. They need to trust the person that's with them and not just think they're being pushed or bullied of, oh, I have to buy this house, or, oh, I have to be okay with any inspection repairs because my agent says it's not a big deal. Well, no, it could be a big deal.
Sure.
And if it's not the right house, it's not the right house. So I've always just treated people like that because that's what I would have wanted. And I mean, it's paid off.
It makes a difference,
I've
right?
been
You
lucky.
see the offers come in, and you see one agent that's shoving a deal down someone's throat, and you see another agent that's like set up. They have the funds ready to go. Like, you see them when you vet deals coming on your properties
We've
all
talked
the
about
time.
this numerous times. Like, if I know an agent and I've dealt with them before, and their offer is less money, like say it's $5,000 less, I've gone with it because I know that agent is going to be a smooth transaction,
Yep.
right? We're going to work together. I always fuck this word up, amicably, right?
Hey, that's pretty
Try
good.
to
Just take it
spell
slow.
that.
I can't
that's
spell it, but
right,
just
yeah.
take it
Try
slow.
to spell that, right? And that's what I go for. I go for ease of the deal, right? It's not always money. And you've seen it before. And like, so like, for instance, if a deal came over and it's 3 agents that I don't know, and then there's an offer from Sam, and I might even pick the phone up. Yo, Sam, is everything good on your end? Yep. You're going to close on time. Everything's good, Nick.
Yep.
That word that she gives me right there, everything's good, Nick. Cool. I'm going with your offer.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's the same on my end with you guys. Like, I know even when Harris Street was coming up and I had my seller, she said, oh, yeah, the sign's coming. I said, oh, I know him. I'm going to call him. I'm going to see what's going on. Make sure we're not direct competition at the same time. I said, because he does nice work. Like, I can vouch for that, right? Same thing with the mortgage side of things. I can vouch to say, oh, Ryan and I have worked together for years. I don't think there's been a time that we haven't gotten to the settlement table if you've pre-approved them and told them up front, like, hey, you're good to go. Right? So
That's a hell of an endorsement. So
Especially
I appreciate
with,
it.
It's
especially
true.
now
No,
with
thank
all
you.
of the,
Yeah, I mean, and it matters. Like, that's why
It's
we're
huge
here
in this business.
after all this years. You guys mentioned Harry Street. People are like, "Who's Harry? What's Harry?" Harry Street. This story is fascinating to me because I want to hear like how it shook down. Like, I would be scared as an agent if Nick Cessna was doing a house on the same block as me, and I'm trying to kind of sell as a real estate agent, maybe one that's not 100% just fully renovated. It could have been lived in once or twice. So they had I thought competing houses, but they worked together.
your
and kind
client's
of,
house was nice.
yeah,
Your client's house
it
was
was
awesome.
renovated
No,
in
it was-
2021 or 22
was a nice
before
house.
she bought it.
Nicely kept. The photos were
Yeah,
great.
I mean, and that's how she lived. It looked like a staged home, kept really nice, but yours was going to be brand new.
Yeah.
And, comparing apples to apples would have been tough.
But your mindset didn't shift to that. Like mine immediately did as a consumer, thinking like, well, of course, I'll just buy the brand new one for a little bit more. Like, why settle? And then I'm thinking of it like you didn't look at it or spin it at all that way. You were like, I got a great house. We're first to the market. Let's get this
Competition
thing
isn't
sold.
bad.
No, it's not. Yeah, I guess not.
Especially when you work together.
And that's what we did.
Competition works well.
I-
Like Sam reached out to me and she was like, you basically said, you did say this. I can probably pull the text up. And you were like, yo, when are you going to be done? Because I don't want to compete.
Right.
And I was like, we're not competing. Like, what's the deal? Like, tell me about the house. Yeah. And she was like, here's the house. It was, as she just referenced, it was renovated in 2022. It looks really nice. and then she was just like, what are your details? Like, what is yours? Do you have a full bath, an extra full bath? What's the deal? Blah, 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 finished basement, blah, blah. We worked those details out. And she was like, all right, important question is, when are you going to be done? And I was like, probably, 30 to 45 days is probably what it was.
Right.
And you were like, all right, I'm ready in 2 weeks or something like that. And I was like, cool. And I was like, what are you thinking a list? And I was just like, this is what I'm listening at. This is the number that I was thinking. And you were like, that's exactly what I was fucking thinking. And I was like, cool, do it. Because if you go first, I'm going to go higher.
Yep.
So like you were already at the top of the food chain, basically, with that amount, right? Which you were probably like, oh shit, is that going to appraise?
Well,
right.
And I was told from the appraiser there was unfortunately no rows to comp it out.
Correct.
At the number I got.
Except for the one 2 doors away, which we both knew about, that went for like,
that was going to end up being more than mine.
540 or some shit. Like, no, remember the one that was
on the corner.
8th?
Yep.
Yeah, I think it had just settled for 540. So when I bought the one on Harry, we walked through and we did a video.
Yep.
That one didn't list and settle yet. I underwrote that house at 500.
Oh wow.
Right? I underwrote that house at 500. I'm always conservative with my numbers.
It's
Can I push it 520, 525? Yes. Then that one listed, went under contract immediately, had a longer closing. I called Jen. I'm like, yo, we just made another 30 G's. And she's like, what? Yeah. And then you were like, hey, I'm going to, 550 or something, and end up settling for what, 559, 560. And you had told me like, yo, this is the offer that I got. I'm like, fantastic. Right?
I had more than one too at that price.
And then I even said to her, I was like, yo, I'm going to throw a generic realtor coming soon sign out front, just so you know. And you were like, absolutely, dude, go ahead, bro, do it. And I had my sign in a window, and I had people calling. I'm like, yeah, you're gonna have to wait. Because I knew, like, you told me, like, the amount of showings that you got and like the amount of activity you got. I was like, oh, it's hot here.
Oh yeah.
So like we were communicating the whole time, and then we ended up getting like 575 on mine.
Before I can even put the numbers together, he texts me, I got a cash offer for 575. But the good one, which is a very important part of the story here, is how quickly the market could shift, right? He underwrote the deal at 500,000. 75,000 probably in 2-3 months later.
Yeah.
Well, even when we originally talked, you were going to be at 549.
Yeah.
So
and I was like, all right, let's see. But I think if I go up at that, you should easily get more than me.
And that's what you told me. Yeah. And you're
because you were brand new.
Yeah.
So, as a buyer, like a consumer, people are probably listening and saying, you know what, damn, that's messed up. The market, you guys didn't control that price increase.
No.
The market
dictates
controls it. That's why we always say, like, if you're ready, just buy a house. Because if someone bought 3 months ago, like right before the holidays or something, they're getting that at 500,000. Now they have the equity. They have $75,000 in equity. But if not, you're paying for it.
I mean, you have a comp next door, literally like next door for the, what was it, 540, right? That one on the corner?
540.
Right? So you're like, hey, I'm going to push a little bit because it's nicer, right? I believe you had a nicer product.
And I had parking. There was a couple different things that I had that an appraiser is going to give a little bit more value to.
Yeah, two-car parking in the back alleyway, right?
We pushed it to see.
And not a whole lot, right?
No.
So it's not greed. Like, you're pushing a little bit. And I'm sure, I'm not going to speak for you or a client, but I'm sure that if somebody came in with a strong offer at just 10 grand over the 540 at 550, your client would have been like, yeah, I'm happy with that, right? Mm-hmm. But you had such activity and such demand that I'm sure there's people that are right now have been like, I'll pay 575 for that. But they didn't know, and they didn't sign on the dotted line in time. And then ours, they got a cash offer so quickly. There was also about 10 other people that were like, please let me in. Please don't accept the offer.
Yep.
No. So, all right. So then this brings me to a good point.
Please don't accept an offer.
Right.
Please let me in.
And we took offers very, very quickly because my seller was living in the house and she was purchasing a new house. And she, at that point, said, I want this to settle before. And the offers worked. We had 2 fantastic offers, both over asking, both with waived inspections. It was a seller's dream, and settling in just shy of 30 days. So it didn't make sense for her to continue on and do an open house and allow more showings. We had,
that's
I don't
where
know,
you
probably
can accuse us of being greedy.
Yeah.
That's where you can accuse
if
us
she
of
let
being
it
greedy.
continue on, because we probably had 5 or 6 showings in like a day and a half. And, it's not.
I saw the people coming in
It wasn't
and
a crazy amount, but it worked.
Yeah.
You
and
need one buyer. It needs a show right.
They came in strong, and their agents clearly knew what they were doing.
A bird in hand, like the bird in hand. Like, all right, let's wrap it up.
So, and again, we go back to like that. You guys not once seemed like you were competing at
worked
all
together.
throughout
Yeah,
that
we tried
process.
to work together.
Absolutely,
Which is really, and you have two happy buyers, which is the best part of all of it, right? It's like some people
two
could
happy
take that
sellers.
as like, oh shit, I could have paid for this. Like you can't. The market's going to tell you what you're going to pay for.
Absolutely.
Now, when we were kind of discussing, we're in this new frontier where social media, we're bombarded every day. Can I get into a house off market? Can I have access? Like what's going on? How does that help you guys when you're going to price, when you're going to underwrite the deal? Like, are you like, oh, this is going to pop, or could that just be all noise? Like, what do you think? Like, what's the thought process there?
What, like seeing other listings?
Yeah,
being
say
like
if you have
blasted all
something
over
coming
social
up
media.
and you're like, hey, coming soon, and you got 9 agents in your inbox saying, hey, is there any way we can get in there and get before? Because as Nick mentioned, people are coming in saying, hey, I'll buy it. Just don't show it to anybody. I'll buy it now. Give me your decision in 24 hours. How are you guys? You know, you got a great offer. Do you go to market? Do you not go to market? Like, where are we at?
It absolutely, for me, it absolutely like puts a kind of a feel on the market. So if I'm getting bombarded with interest, I'm like, all right,
maybe I'm shooting a little short here.
Like my 1 on 6, like people are literally begging me to get their buyers, and I'm like, dude, I'm like not even drywalled. Like, no, absolutely not.
As the seller, you'd be doing yourself a disservice. Because you'll price according to the market, because regardless of what the market is, you don't want a product to sit, right? You don't want this house to sit too long, get stale, price reduce. So you're going to price according to what the neighborhood is calling for. And when it drives itself up because you have multiple offers, then everybody wins.
See,
right?
that was my next
You're
question.
You're not greedy. You'd be doing yourself as the seller a disservice by not going to market. And there are certain circumstances where selling off market will work better.
Makes sense.
Right?
Yeah.
And it could be any different reason for somebody, but
not as hot of a time of year.
Right.
Not
and
like,
you guys were going to answer my next question.
Rates a little higher.
Yeah.
Right, a specific time frame, and maybe a seller wants, oh, I have a cash offer up front, and it's a house that needs work, or I could wait and maybe get a little bit more, but I have to deal with maybe inspections or financing contingency and all that kind of stuff. And in that sense, if they want their money, it makes sense to take an off-market cash offer or whatever the case may be. But
I think for me, it's a case-by-case basis depending on who the seller is and who the buyers are and all, like
where the market's
There's a lot
at.
of different factors that are involved. Yes, where the market, time of year.
Yep.
Time of year matters. And what we're seeing now is, and we talked about this yesterday off camera, it's like the neighbor zip code. I mean, it's always location. But right now I feel like, anybody could sell a house in Conshohocken. I got to be honest right now. The people want to be there, and we still need great agents to, like you said, move that market, keep it consistent with what's going on out there. Right. What about the areas that it's not? Like, what's the strategy there? I know you shift to the market, but do you get a little more desperate? Do you market more? Do you have to do more phone calls, like prospecting? How do you make it work in an area that's not as hot as a Conshohocken?
So honestly, any market at this point, especially now when most houses are still kind of selling themselves, I think it's all about preparation and pricing right. Because you could see a house that, lists for $700 somewhere, right? And you have a house around the corner that's going to go up for sale, and the seller's like, oh, well, they had a lot of offers. Okay. So I do my homework, call the listing agent,
It's a different house.
All this stuff. And she said, oh yeah, we had, 4 offers and we ended up 100,000 over. You'll see it when we settle. Okay. But did all 4 offers give you 100,000 more? Yeah. No, just 1. So now you have other people who are still willing to offer, but maybe that buyer got a little desperate because they really wanted it, the location, whatever it is. But maybe the next person isn't going to give you that amount of money because maybe the comps don't support it. So if you don't price things according to the market, not just a one-off, it's going to sit. It doesn't matter what area it's in. So areas that aren't moving as quickly, I think helping a seller prep, making sure the house is going to look its best for a first impression online, whether that's with photography, video, whatever it is, and just trying to put it in front of as many people and price it accordingly, and it moves, even in an area that is a little bit slower.
What are some of the, I guess you go into like real estate 101, when you see, 1,000 square foot house, 3 bedroom, 1 bathroom in the city, the first couple things are what? Carpet, flooring, paint, like, to prep and get a house ready after like your listing presentation?
So it really depends. It depends what they're looking to do. Okay. Sometimes I bring in a company that will ultimately go through and send a report that says here are all the things that you need to do to like stage your home with
nice.
the things that you have in your home already.
Oh, sweet.
Or maybe they'll say, hey, you should get pillows like this, or you should move your couch here.
Depersonalize it too.
Depersonalize always the first thing.
Family photos all
Yeah.
over the place.
Sometimes it needs to be painted if, you know, it looks dingy. It depends what the seller wants.
Yeah.
If they want to put a little bit of money into it and try to get top dollar, then that's always going to be the strategy. If they just say, I want to get out of here, then it's going to be priced because, you know, your condition isn't going to be an A+, and buyers are smart.
Do you start seeing more negotiation when it's dinged up, right? If you didn't put the preparation in, the buyer is savvy enough to say like, hey, well, you didn't do this. Let's beat them up a little bit.
Exactly. Or, you know, you're not going to get an offer at first, or maybe you get one with inspections, whatever the case is. But yeah, preparation has become, I think, the biggest point in listings recently because we've been in a market that everything has sold itself. You didn't really, you know what I mean, for years now, which is crazy.
And there was no, like, there's a lot of agents that haven't even encountered yet until this year. Like, if they got their license in 2020, right, 2021, like a newer agent, I mean, I would consider that a newer agent still, right?
Yeah.
They've never really encountered a real spring market and a winter dead market until this year.
No.
And they're like, oh, what's going on? Like, well, it's just fucking January, bud. It's normal.
Right.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like,
we have the same conversations
Fucking normal.
every
We all panic in
January.
January.
Because to us, the time moves so slow in that December, January, and February months. So we're like,
especially people
we're
with kids.
gonna-
And if you're selling in a house at a good school district and it has 3-4 bedrooms and the most of buyers have kids, like people just got done Christmas. They're not thinking about moving.
No,
Yeah.
not until the school year's over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the timing always matters in these markets again, especially the city markets.
on the zip
I
code.
think the zip
Yes.
codes right now out here. Let's talk about like our Monco, Delco, because we all service those areas and specialize. Our problem, as we always look, and you as a builder and a developer, is inventory. Like, why can't we catch up? Like, why is there 30 offers on every single family home at 800,000-900,000? Like, why is that buyer demand so pent up?
Because a lot of it is the move-up buyers
Okay.
who might have a 3% interest rate
Yep.
and have held on as long as they can, and now they need more space.
Yep.
But on the other end, you have people who've lived in these bigger homes, the move-up ones, in these areas and districts that everybody wants, and they've lived there for 30 years.
They're not moving.
No mortgage. They have nowhere to go either.
They're not moving.
So they're not moving. So the lack of inventory is still the biggest problem. I mean, we've seen it the last couple of years. Interest rates have gone up. They've come down a little bit. They've gone up again. And the demand is still there in most areas.
Most of those areas. So
most
what?
of those areas at that price, like move up price point.
I also blame people like our parents' age, like the boomers. That
Yes.
I totally blame them because they have this like illusion of grandeur. Like, oh well, you just sold that house for $700,000. Like, yeah, I put $250,000 into that house
Right.
to make it sell for that money. And they're like, well, then I should be able to get 600. I'm like, what are you not understanding about
Doesn't work
this?
like that.
Yeah, there's a
Yeah.
big disconnect, right? I mean, obviously, with the original owner generation that kind of is paid $30,000 and gets $1 million for the
Yeah.
house, but where
$30,000 back in the 70s and
Was it
80s
bunch
of-
was
Was a
$1
lot.
million.
It was a
It
lot.
was a lot of money.
Yeah.
But where I'm seeing the big disconnect is the seller maybe the mindset of like a 1920, like 2020, where they think, hey, this is worth so much, and then just a buyer that's now been in a market with 6 and 7% interest rates for 5 years, thinking like, this is just too freaking high. I can't pay it. But somebody's willing to pay it, usually in the
Our
zip.
parents were buying houses in the 80s with 17% interest rates. Like,
Right.
interest rates should not control your decision on a house.
Well, why
in my
Harry's such a
opinion.
big deal, right? Because you guys said like $75,000 in equity should be a monster. That's what you should be watching, right? Like if you got in 3 hours early or 3 months earlier to your conversation, they paid themselves $100,000, like by buying the house at
If
that
you
time.
buy in a hot area, right, like a desirable area, just pull up 19428 Conshohocken, right? We can pull it up on my computer right there on MLS. And there's not a lot of listings. And there's not a lot of listings for a reason, because they fly off the market because people want to be there.
Yep.
It's a hot zip code in Montgomery County, right? People want to be there. Families want to be there. Young business professionals want to be there. Conshohocken has done a nice job. It's a very safe community to live in, right? It's a great community to live in. I mean, you live in 19428.
Yeah,
Right.
that's great.
And when you
I
first
would
purchased your house,
love to sell my house.
But when you first purchased
I'm one
your
of those
house,
people. I mean, I'm part of the problem, right? Like,
But we
but I
talked
took a
about
chance in 19, right? It was 200
Yeah.
grand more than I wanted
it
to
was
spend.
a lot for you.
So,
It was a lot for you. Are you even concerned about that number anymore? That you purchased
I'm
it for?
good. It was one of the smart things
You
I've
don't
done.
give a you don't give a fuck what you paid
No.
for that.
No.
Not at all.
And your interest rate back then doesn't fucking matter.
But I must say, what it does is it allows people like me now to look back in retrospect, and most buyers that bought in 18, 19, 20, like, hey, we're 6 years later, 7 years later. If something's going to be overpriced and we're uncomfortable there, we're more inclined to buy it now because we understand how quickly it can pay itself back, right? Like, or you take a chance on it, right? We've seen what real estate agents can do, and like, I mean, what the real estate can do for you. So when clients call me, kind of complaining and saying, "Right, I got a 2.5% rate, I got a 3% rate," I said, "You bought that with $50,000, and now it's paying you back $250,000. Like, where else are you getting that in 4 years? You would never be able to save it. Like, be thankful. The house worked for you. You ran into a unicorn. Sell it and get to where you need to get to, because functionality and peace of mind after a while will trump the 2 and 3% rate. But we're still not there. We're got to bridge this freaking gap somehow with inventory and rates.
The argument people say is like, "Oh, well, what if the market crashes?" Okay,
It's not
okay.
2008.
But let's just look at 2008. If the market crashes and you bought your house, if you have a job in a field that is secure, and if the market crashes, you're not concerned about losing your job, right? But if everybody loses their job, everybody's fucked. It doesn't matter anyway.
Right.
But if you have a secure position in your job and you're buying a house that you want to be there for 10 years plus, if the market crashes the day after you buy it, it doesn't fucking matter, because it's going to recover within those 5 or 10 years and then go up. Look at any market crash. They go like this, and then they start to come back up, and then they level off, and then they start, but they're always going up.
And more and more, each time this stuff happened, these shifts in the market, there's just more people waiting on the sidelines for these events to happen with cash. So it's different, right? Like, not everybody's going to be, everybody will be broke. That's just not true. There's plenty of cash buyers sitting there
When the cops and
waiting
firemen
for
that we grew up with say like, "Oh, what if the market crashes?" I'm like, shut the fuck up.
Even if it drops like a
shut up. Or a
25%
nurse.
drop. Like,
or a nurse. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Your fucking job is so secure, right? Nobody wants to do your job anyway anymore. So like, your job's so goddamn secure. Buy the fucking house. You have kids. You're going to live there. It doesn't matter if the market crashes or the rates jump up the next day after you buy. It doesn't fucking matter.
Matters
You're going to get equity regardless.
It's going to recover. It's going to keep going up. I mean, some areas flatten out more than other. What I'm trying to figure out is, and a solution kind of based thing is, for these hot areas, there's not enough homes. We'll just continue to use 19128 Conshohocken, right? Like 19428. Did I say 19? I'm an original Roxborough guy. So either way, like, there's now a gap between like new constructions are 1.1, 1.2, and then the residents that've been there have been 700,000-800,000. Like that, and
that's the one that's driving the prices up though too.
What's that? The
All driving them up together.
I know. That's why I'm kind of saying, like, when does it stop? When does the gap bridge out? Is it lower interest rates? Is it more housing? Because eventually this all is cyclical, right? Like, there's going to be a surplus of housing. Rates will drop, and we're going to be bitching like we can't sell homes. So it's like,
then the demand's going to go to the next neighborhood.
Right. Because, you look at a neighborhood like Conshohocken and Atier.
It's not big.
It's not big. There's only so many places that you can put homes without having to get lucky and tear one down and put a new one there, or renovate, or whatever the case is. And it's expensive. It's gotten expensive for people. And then they say, okay, well, I want to be as close to here as possible. So what's the next neighborhood, right? Because then you start to see whatever's next to it start to go up.
Sure.
Because people are, oh, well, I could be 10 minutes away and get a house for $200,000 less. Great. That's what I'm going to do.
Teeing me up for her new constructions in Bridgeport. You're pretty good at that. No,
but it's true.
But it is true,
It's
because
true.
we have plenty of buyers now that had a $400,000-$500,000 mindset. That it's simply just not a reality anymore. And the quicker you realize that, right? There's some that are delusional. The market will crash. They've been shopping for 3, 4, 5 years. Like, listen, there's way more problems that happen when you're shopping that long, right? Things happen, things go bad. But there's other buyers that say, hey, there's opportunity zones where, like, maybe just for this example, a Bridgeport, if I can get in ground level at 500 grand, could you imagine if this market went up 10%, 15, 20%, or even if it is the next Conshohocken, now I'm sitting on 50% equity. Like, that stuff does happen. And, look, it's part of our job to set the realistic expectations that, hey, sometimes these things are like a unicorn, right? But But tell me how that happens. Like, how do you convince buyers there? Like, oh, I want Conshohocken. I can't live without Conshohocken. How do you show them the value?
They can't afford it.
This episode is made possible by our friends over at Milady Landscaping. Milady Landscaping is your go-to service for all of your residential and commercial landscaping and hardscaping needs. You can reach them on Instagram at Milady Landscaping, miladylandscaping.com, and 267-836-2102. Milady Landscaping handles all of our properties, my personal and investment properties.
They can't afford to
we
stay
say it all the
stay.
time. Boom. Don't sugarcoat it, right? You can't afford it anymore.
Right.
The market shifted. The incomes and the wages stay the same. The down payments stay the same. So nothing just happened. The bank just doesn't lend you more money. So you got to pivot, right? And you just tell them flat out, hey, this is more realistic where we're kind of looking at.
Yeah, I usually try to soften it up on people a little bit. Be honest, but also make sure they understand, like, hey, okay, you can afford $400,000 and you want a 3-bed, 2.5-bath single. Sure, there's nothing in Conshohocken. That's where you want to be, but it's not on the market. We'll keep an eye on it. But if you're willing to go, 15, 20 minutes past there, you can probably get something that you want. Maybe it's renovated, maybe it's not, things like that. So kind of have to tell them, but also let them figure it out for themselves.
It's the school district too. Like, people want the school district, right? My argument all the time is like, well, buy in a more affordable area that's equally as safe within driving distance to all the restaurants and shit that you want to go to, and then send your kids to a private school. Yeah. And you are going to save money. Like, so if you're concerned about, oh, I can't afford Conshohocken, okay, but you want to be in the school district, well, maybe just like buy somewhere more affordable that's equally as safe, has close proximity, and take those huge savings and put your kids in private school.
Right.
Like, people don't understand that. Like, your payment would be less if you're paying for private school and buying a house $100,000, $200,000 less, right? We probably get a little bit more land, you go a little bit further out, stuff like that. But like, people always, like, they can't grasp that.
So you're seeing buyers with more realistic expectations.
We send our kids to private school.
Yeah. And look, it's just a personal decision, right? Yeah. But like, I go back and forth on this, right? Because I think you should take risk in real estate. The problem is, in this market, is you don't really have a ton of chance to take risk because 20 other people are taking the same risk, right? They're willing to overpay. Then I think what wins in this market is quick decision making, the ability to pivot to different neighborhoods, the flexibility, right? Like, the buyers that you see are struggling right now need the 4, need the 3, need the 700,000, need the single, 2-car parking in this school district. They're the ones that are having the toughest time because there is 25 of the same pool of buyers doing the same thing. Yes. So like, I love the decision-making of some agents that are like, hey, why don't we look at new construction and show you the value here? You can negotiate a little more. You can get credits, things like that. And again, it's not your forever home. Like, the mindset of like, I got to buy this and be here for 30 years is crazy, right? Like, do what we did in 2019 and 20. Buy it. If you've become a landlord, cool. If you don't and you gain some equity, sell it. Like,
well, that's part of the problem too. People, and I mean,
I
will be part of that problem. I have a 3% interest rate, and my mindset going into when I bought my first house was it's going to be an investment property at some point, and I'm not going to put it on the market when I move. I'm going to rent it. So we see a lot of that too. People who have those low interest rates want to upsize, but they can't get away from saying, oh, well, I can make $1,000 extra a month on top of my mortgage and my taxes being paid by a tenant.
Yeah, $1,000 a door now we're at.
You know what I mean?
It's kind of the new freaking standard, which we were just talking about in my office yesterday. It used to be $200-$300 a door, and you're like, cool, I'm doing all right. Now it's like $500 to $800 is not enough per door, and it's like I'm making $1,000 to $12,000. But how do we convince them? Obviously, lower rates is going to help that and combat that when it comes down in that 5% range. But like, showing people on the other side, like, hey, you can make $200,000 here. Like, this is 7-8 years of like what you would have to work and save if you were even good at budgeting, right? So like, that's what our job is now. Right. Like, you know, this could be a beneficial trade-off. And some people say, well, I can't afford that. I can't afford that. And we show them that they can afford it, right? And like, the value of maybe purchasing a new construction from Nick's team or a brand new build from another builder. So the market is nuts, and there are so many different strategies. That's why I'm so curious, because now you're in this, you know, new construction phase, you're against the big builders like Lennar and those guys.
Yeah.
How do you battle against those products, like the big box guys?
It's easier than you think, actually, because people they seem to like the touches that a smaller builder is going to put in a house for you or bring to the table, right? So after settlement with a big builder, you get, oh, well, if you have a problem, you have a 1-year warranty and you'll call this number or you'll put a request in, right?
Good luck getting a hold of them.
Exactly. And day 365 at midnight, you're cut off. If something happens the next day, most likely you're not getting them to come back out and fix anything for you. Smaller builders, they care. They care about their reputation in the neighborhood. They care about quality. You know, big builders I'm sure do too, but from my end of things and what I've experienced, they care more.
Yeah.
You know, and
you have a real personal touch for
exactly.
it. Yeah.
They want to make things right from the beginning. So, you know, they're not going to allow bathroom tile to look at it and be like, that's off center. Oh, I'm just going to leave it. The buyer's not going to catch it. No, they're going to come in and tell the tile guy it needs to be ripped out and redone because it doesn't look right.
Plus,
or
you
it's
guys
not
are
done
more
right.
involved together, right? Like if I buy a house and you're my agent, and you're the builder, like I feel like that's a team that we put together. And I would definitely feel a little backdoored if I made a call and said like, hey, you know, my plumbing just went to shit. Like, can he come out and take a look at it? And he's like, nah, dude, we're out of here. Like, and some people do that. Like, hey, I don't property management. Like, we close, we're done. And I'm like, but that's your work, right? Like, well, I don't know how the user is using it. I'm like, well, go look at it, right?
See
like
if
at
it's
least at the
something
very
you did.
basic foundation. Yeah. And Nick knows, believe it or not, there's plenty of people that are like, nope, this thing's sold. That's their problem. They can hire a plumber, blah, blah, blah. I know you don't get many calls anyway from your guys, but
which is good.
You'll
Shit
go
happens though.
Shit happens all the time though. And it could be
I had a
user
house where
error all the time.
All the toilet flanges were faulty. We discovered that they were all faulty.
But
right?
you wouldn't
So-
have known that until
so
somebody
we
was
went-
in there.
Like the guy had a leak, went back, fixed it. He was like, you ain't gonna, like 2 weeks later, you ain't gonna believe it's my other toilet. Like, what? Went back. I was like, you know what? He had like 2 other toilets. I was like, I'm ripping them out and just
Yeah, challenge accepted. I'm ripping these goddamn things out and we're just getting to work.
Because I'm not going to come back every 2 weeks for like the next toilet, and end up being and you know, of course, the manufacturer's like, oh, they just deflect.
Right.
They knew there was a fucking problem.
Right.
So
but
it's not.
you take accountability and you stand behind your work, which with a big builder, again, I'm sure they do, but you're not going to get that personalized service or somebody who's going to care and get ahead of it. Hey, you know what? Let's fix this problem that you're having. You might have with the other ones and just do it now.
Is there more flexibility or less flexibility? Because I feel like all these bigger ones, like, oh, we'll throw you in a $10,000 fireplace, is like the dangling the carrot, and everyone's like, oh, I'll take it. Like, what do you kind of do? I mean, local builders give just as great as incentives if you ask.
I think it depends.
Yeah.
You know, I think it depends. If, you know, you have a builder who's doing 10 or 12 homes and maybe you're the first or second one in, they're probably more likely to say, oh, sure, like, you want me to include the deck instead of charging you? Okay, you need the momentum, right? You need the first person in, first couple people. If you're the last one on the street, at that point,
they don't really have to do shit.
they don't have to, right?
What about you guys when you get like, say, new stuff in hot areas and it's a higher price point? Because, you know, you're going into resort towns in different areas that are second homes. It's going to be a different buyer, right? That's going to want not spec. They're going to want custom. They're going to want it built. Is that just not do you say, hey, we're not doing that? That's not our model. It takes too much time.
You already know the answer.
I know the answer to that. No, but I mean, people.
I'm not doing custom shit because if I get if I get caught holding the bag, like, you want some fucking purple fucking room and purple tile, right? Like, not everybody wants that.
Right.
So, like, you would have to pay for that up front, completely non-refundable, and it's going to be overpriced because if I got to rip the shit out, if you get hit by a bus,
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to hold the bag on that.
Plus, the market if the market is shifting too much to even make a deal with somebody, then go through a custom build more or less, and then it's like you just cost yourself money.
I'm not doing a shit ton of houses like I used to, right? And I'm more selective on what I do, and I'm stuck in my ways. And the product that we put out works, so it's like I don't want to get into like that whole like bringing people, especially with flips. I don't want to get involved in people bringing people in early, and because I don't know how to say this without saying I don't need the sale. Like, I don't need that fucking sale. Like, so like I'm not desperate for that house to sell that I'm like, yeah, I'll do whatever you need because I'm holding some loan that I'm, you know, like I need to sell to be able to buy the next one. lucky enough that I'm in a position that I don't have to do those decisions. And there's nothing against people that have to. You got to do what you got to do, right, to get started.
Yeah, there's people to get started. That are
I
in
used to do that
spot
shit
all the time.
right?
Yeah, you have to.
I don't, because I've been burned.
Yeah,
And you've witnessed it.
I've been
fucking
on them, right?
sure.
So it's like we do months of work, and you do it the same way.
Yep.
We do months and months of work, and people fail to realize this. Like once the transaction doesn't close or it blows up, like we don't get paid, right? And all of our work and all of our resources and hours don't really. It matters to some people, but it doesn't matter to a lot of people.
And the agents that are like,
And for what? What's the payoff?
the agents that are like begging me, like, oh, please, like, let me get in early, let my client customize. You know, they're really particular. Like, you just told me that your clients are a pain in the dick.
Yep.
Like, I don't want to deal with them, right? So, like, I don't want to do that. There's really no incentive for me to do that. Like, but the thing that I guarantee to people is when it is done, I stand by everything that I do. So, this product, I stand by it.
Yeah.
So it's like, but we do stuff kind of like we do the opposite of like super custom. My wife designs stuff so she always says she wants to design bathrooms so a woman can go in. It's not too custom, and she can change the look and feel of a bathroom every couple of years with accessories.
Yeah.
I think it's a great idea, right? When you're building, you're not putting pink or blue tile
Too
because
custom.
you're too custom,
too
right? Now you're
trendy.
married to
Right.
a trend.
Too trendy.
You're also appealing to everyone then,
Yeah.
instead of, oh, well, this is just a specific buyer who can buy this house because I did X, Y, and Z in the bathroom, right? No, you want as many eyes on it, and you want people to like everything.
She likes to make it so like, and she always gears things towards women because she's a woman, and she's like, I want women to be able to walk in here and be like, I can make this mine.
Yep.
Yeah, you can kind of swap out different
Now you got like the man,
wallpapers, textures.
you
all
got
that
the man
stuff.
behind the camera, right? And we did Danny's house, and he was like, I was like, you know, do you want certain things? And he was like, dude, whatever Jen wants to do is how I want my
That's
house.
what most of, like, I was
And
going to
like,
say,
all right,
because
cool.
the process is daunting, right? Like, that's why we say, like, well, let them do it, right? If you have small tweaks, talk to them about it. But, like, these guys know what they're doing. They design things all the time.
Right.
And it's like, you know, they know the square footage of things, the cost of things, and people don't realize what goes into it. And these little, like, changes, you may have to change all types of cabinetry out, if you get different appliances,
Right.
sizes.
I mean, money talks though
Money.
too.
Yeah,
Like,
oh,
I'll sell
yeah.
you the underwear off my ass for the right number. You know
Right.
what I
If
mean?
people are
So,
willing to pay
Yeah.
for the extra, and you throw a crazy number out and they're like, okay, no problem. You're like, all right, I guess we're doing this.
Yeah, if you want some custom boutique fucking thing, like, you got to pay for that shit.
Is that happening now that you're seeing more construction? Like, is it more custom homes? Or are they just kind of spec homes? Or what are they all popping up?
I've seen different.
Yeah.
So
Or do they have like a 3 model, like 3 different options you can kind of choose from? Is that kind of what it is?
It depends. So some builders will tell you, oh, you know, you can walk through our model and we have, you know, these couple of floor plans you can look at, and oh, you like it, but you want white cabinets. Oh, and they look on their list and it's already pre-selected which lot is going to be what floor plan and finishes. And they say, okay, we have that available. You would settle in January of 2027 if that's the one that you want. Other builders, usually smaller ones, will, depending on the stage, like if it's ground up, they'll let you make some decisions.
Yeah,
you
if
know,
they haven't purchased the shit yet.
I was going to say,
Exactly.
like most buyers will have, or most builders, smaller ones, more times than not, will have a buyer already in place for that property, right?
it depends.
They'll like own the lot, and then they'll
It
probably
depends
have
on what business model you go after.
There's a lot of different
depends.
ones, yeah, and
It
and
depends.
I'm only asking because we're, you know, for us, new construction is always been a like kind of an untapped market, because you feel like, oh, as a boutique lender, as a resi lender, like they're hard, right? Somebody has an in-house lender, they're just going to beat you, but that's not the case anymore, right? We beat out in-house all the time because, one, their service sucks. They're really just doing a lot of smoke and mirror stuff. And again, we're advising people for the long haul, not just like, all right, buy this cool spec home down near the river and then like, screw you.
Right.
Yeah. So, cause we get all their refinances. So trust me, it happens.
I mean, I like
all the time.
I like the buy down rate shit that you guys offer.
Yeah,
Where
yeah.
like, you know, like you're like, all right, well, if the price was 500, let's sell it to these people at 520, and I give them 20 grand back to buy down their rate or help with an assist and shit like that. Like that stuff.
It
goes
just
a
gives
long
them
way.
options, right?
Yeah.
Like sometimes they
So
say,
I'm
hey, I
happy
don't
and
even
they're
need.
happy.
Right. Your
Yeah.
bottom line is the same
Yeah.
as it was.
Yeah.
And now you have a higher comp in the neighborhood, which doesn't hurt anybody.
And the people are happy.
And the buyers
And
are
you
happy.
gave them a service, right? Like some
Yeah.
people, more times than not, believe it or not, they're like, dude, I'll take actually the lower purchase price and come out of my own pocket with the cash because they understand the value of the equity position, right? Like, so, and other people just say, hey, dude, that's 20 grand. I'm taking it. I'm like, either way, you walk out of there happy because you had an option. Again, we're not reinventing the wheel there. We just like to strategize and say like, well, what is important to you? If you got 10 grand in your bank account, like we can still get you a house. It's just like, but you may have to refi 24 to 36 months later just to kind of get comfortable and stabilize. But like, we're about the acquisition, setting up the next steps. And not everybody is in like a position to buy a home, right? Like, but again, I am from the school of if you can acquire it and the price is right and you're comfortable and you know it's not going to bury you, go for it. Right. Like, I just am because
Listen,
I think
if I was a single guy, right, and I had a steady job, I would buy new construction properties every 2 years. And that's all I would do.
Why so?
Because I would get in early. So if Sam has access to a building lot of 10 buildings, right? Their builder's going to build 10 buildings, 10 ones. I would go to her as soon as they break ground. I'd be like, I want to buy the first one. Because I know by the time they get to the 10th one, it's going to be more money.
Yep.
So now I'll live in it for 2 years, right? I'll own it for 2 years. It'll be my main residence of 2 of the past 5 years. I'll sell that motherfucker in 2 years, pay 0 capital gains tax, and then buy another one, and buy another one, and buy another one. And I'll just let the 10th buyer, they raise the equity, and now I instantly have equity, and I would just sell it. There's people that do that and make an extra 100 to 200 to 300, 400,
I was just going to say,
$500,000
man, listen,
every
that
couple
class
years.
is in session on that one.
That is a hack.
So
to do
bring it right back down. So say there's 10 being built. You get the first
one.
model
Yep.
in.
First in the door.
Yep.
It's the lowest price. It's
is.
always the lowest price.
Yep.
Everybody's
Always.
gonna- Oh, yeah.
Always the lowest price, the first one.
And then live in it, use the house hack of, hey, it's my primary residence. We're going to live here a year or two.
Here's
and
another
then you
hack
bounce.
for you. Here's another hack for you.
Or you
become
keep it as a
landlord,
rental.
yeah.
Here's another hack for you. There's people that do this, and I know this one lady has money that does this. She will buy the first one, right? Before you even break ground, buy it, right? She never moves into the fucking house. Gets upgrades done to it, everything, right? And then when they're all done, she fucking sells it. Or she sells the contract to the right to buy it because now they're like, the builder's like, hey, the one that you have on, we have with you under contract for $1 million, I'm selling the rest of them at 1.3, 1.4. Would you take 1.1 to walk away?
Right.
Or just $100,000?
Right.
Boom. They buy that off you. $100,000 for your fucking agreement of sale.
Hell yeah.
Basically wholesale on a new construction
I was just
house.
going to say, are you wholesale? Like you could wholesale a new construction house. It's not a bad idea. People, and I know there's people out there in the world that obviously get in ground level spec home before it's even built.
And then say shit like it's always a risk, right? Like say shit happens to you and you have a down payment. Chances are they're going to take a lower down payment on the first one too, right? Right? A lower down payment for on the agreement, right?
Yeah.
And shit happens in your life, you might be able to just made a $15,000 mistake, but if you were making 100, 200, 300 on other ones, 15 grand is just part of doing business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, you mean earnest money. Like
Yeah.
if you put like,
Yeah.
yeah, because if it's a first one and you have nothing, they just want some type of cash,
They
right?
want
Like,
something
They
signed.
need to hold something
Yeah.
to say,
To show
all
the
right,
bank.
I have one under contract. And that's the momentum too.
Yeah.
You see one starting and somebody sees that it's under contract, all of a sudden,
It's human
now
nature,
people are
right?
coming
and then
in,
you're
now
more
they want
excited
it.
as an agent.
Here's how the
You're
lending
more
works.
yeah.
Here's how the lending works for a lot of builders too. They will make you, certain banks will make you put it up for sale immediately, right? Before you even break ground.
Yep.
We want it on the market immediately. They won't let you break ground on like the next three
phase.
until you have certain signatures and signed or settled. But a lot of times it's just, hey, we have these ones pre-sold. All right, we're releasing the funds for the next one. Start it. Keep it going.
So being able, you said time
Getting
is
in there
money.
first.
Just get in there first.
Yep.
You're signing.
It's a total real estate hack.
So you're doing that for the potential outcome that you
Yes.
know is going to happen,
Correct.
right? Like you're not getting too personally invested. Like I don't know how this house is going to turn out. You've already vetted the builder. You know it's going to turn out. You know the comps in the area.
I don't
so
think
it's
you
like-
care at that point,
Yeah,
to be
you're-
honest,
you're
right?
buying the opportunity.
You're buying something brand new. So hopefully, as long as everything is done right, you don't have to worry about a mechanical for at least 7 years, maybe.
Yeah.
You know, things like that. It's all new. So even if you live there for 2 years, you're probably not going to personalize it. You're not going to put anything on the wall. You're not going to paint. It's going to be a blank canvas for whoever comes in next and pays you more than you paid 2 years ago.
If it was just me and Jen, that's all we would do. Like if we didn't have these three rug
You don't
rats.
hear that strategy often. That's why I said
It takes balls to do.
It does
Yeah.
because you know what? I have now now that I say that, I have a new wave of guys buying in areas, say like Fishtown or like hotter zip codes where new construction purchase prices are 5, 6, 700,000, and they're coming off the street, with either tech jobs or sometimes they'll put it in an LLC and show no income, and they're like, yeah, I'm going to buy it as an investment or a primary, and then I'm like, dude, it's like 600 grand, 700 grand. They're like, it's just a bigger number. They don't give a shit about the number because. And the return could be the same. It could be but
they understand money.
They understand,
Right.
like,
money.
hey, the debt. Who cares? The debt is the debt. I'm going to pay it.
Right.
Someone else is going to pay it for me.
You have to,
and I'm going to leverage it.
generational shit that like our parents
we're
did,
in
where they bought something and they were like, "We're buying this and we're going to stay here for 30 years and raise these kids."
And I'm selling it, and I'm selling it when I'm 17, when they go to college, and I'm going to have a college fund.
The same people that are complaining about like, oh, these boomers don't sell their houses or they're making so much money on their house. Well, then fucking find out a different way to make money on houses then.
Right.
And you can do it before you're 75. You
There
can
you
make
go.
a bunch of money on houses without having to know how to build a house, without having to know how to flip a house, without having to know how to do the real estate end of house, hire a realtor, right?
Yep.
And invest that way. Like invest in real estate because you need a place to live. Invest in fucking real estate. Use it as an investment.
Right.
An investment. Like make fucking money.
So the disconnect is that you just get sometimes too invested, too personalized in it, and you're not looking at it from a
And
business
too safe.
standpoint.
And too safe.
Too
Where it's
safe,
just like, I have my 9 to 5. I'm a fucking robot.
It's got to be
you know what I mean?
200,000 to 300,000. Anything more than that, it simply just can't be an investment property.
You can
anymore.
make money other than your job.
Right.
Yeah.
Even just buying a first house and saying, okay, this is going to be kept as an investment property and it might not be in the specific area that you really want to be in long term, or maybe it's smaller or needs updating. Do it along the way. It's going to be worth more when you're ready to move or rent it out or sell it than it was the day that you bought it.
And they're the buyers that are winning in this market, kind of to tie all this thing together. It's like the ones that are flexible, the ones that could be chameleons in the market. Look, you get what you can get, but if it's a seller's market, like you're not getting everything you want. You're just not getting anything.
There's no
like,
deal, right?
There's no
Like,
deal.
that
Like that's
doesn't
what we
exist
get. So we
anymore,
see it on the
which is
side of like,
unfortunate.
damn, dude, these rates are high, like, or we're losing every weekend. I'm like, the rates are not the reason you're losing your deal. It's because you're focusing on the wrong thing.
Your mentality.
Yeah, your mentality is like, shit, like rates are at 6.25. Like, what's it matter? If you don't have a contract, it doesn't matter. Tomorrow they could be 5.5.
Right.
So it's like, I always try to gently say like, hey, I'm sure your credit union's awesome, but like call them on a Saturday afternoon and see if they're going to give you a quote in 5 minutes, right? Like
They're not
they're
picking up the
not.
phone.
It's about winning the transaction first, and you figure out the financing piece obviously after that. But you've probably, if you're good at your job, we've had them prep for months, right? Like what we're going to do now and what we're going to do 6 months from now.
Yep.
So
Like when I think of Sam, I think of like consistency in the market. Right? She's
Always.
very
Thank
you.
consistent.
yeah, I
right?
agree. Yeah.
So like she's not lighting the world on fire and being like this top #1 fucking agent. Like, look at me on Instagram. Look at me. Look at me. She's consistently in the game, in the conversation. So how do you stay consistent, and what are the things that you do to keep consistent other than just being honest, which is great?
yeah.
I don't know if I've been lucky that most of my business, especially at this point, is repeat and referrals more than probably anything.
That's not luck for sure.
Like I've never cold called. That's never been
We hate.
me.
Yeah,
I don't
me-
like
me and
rejection.
Sam don't like prospecting.
So there will
even
be
though
no
it's
cold
crazy.
calling on my end whatsoever. I know it works, but that's not my thing. I consistently sit open houses, and I have from the very beginning.
Yes.
And before, used to get more buyers
Sure.
who would come in unrepresented, but you sit enough,
You're putting the work in.
eventually somebody's showing up, and they don't have an agent, and you're able to, hey, if they're not going to buy this house, let's talk about what you do want to do, and you sell yourself to them at that point.
And people get to know you too.
Yep.
The open house thing is like, and I got to start doing it too, because I just had a call on it yesterday. So for agents, any new agent should be in open houses all the time, right? You start seeing how the game, you're in the game, so you see how it unfolds. On our side of things, the open house thing, and what we should do is like LOs bitch and complain, oh, well, we don't have enough business. We don't have enough leads. So break down the math. There is, just say 50 weeks in a year. Take the holiday weeks out of it, right?
Right.
You go to 4 open houses every Sunday after mass or whatever, or breakfast. 4 open houses, right? You meet 16 agents a month. Just call it 200 agents a year. 10 of those agents are going to give you business, right? And if you qualified, you're in there. I'm asking you interviews, like how much business do you do? Like, where are you at? You're almost interviewing and qualifying them on the spot. it can equivalent to $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 in monthly business by just hitting open houses. So I'm going to try this strategy. I mean, I just listened to it yesterday. 4 open houses on Sunday, 15 minutes, and I'm not sitting the open house with you. I'm just coming in and saying,
Introduce
hey,
yourself.
I'm Ryan Dolan. I'm a local lender. You're going to be seeing my pre-approval. You did a great job with the open house. Like, see you later. Maybe we can grab coffee. And then I do my stuff. These 3 agents aren't going to do much, or I didn't like them. I wouldn't go out with them. So we're doing that. Like these old school strategies are back, and to the consistency piece, it's a good thing. Like you just do things that have worked through.
I think open houses work for you guys, right? For me, from a seller standpoint, I've never sold a house from an open house.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Never,
the difference.
Not once. I've sold over 100 homes. I've never, not once, sold a house from an open house.
I've sold at least one that I can think of, and I was sitting it for another agent, and it was the first open house, and people walked in, they were unrepresented, we started talking, they weren't sure what they were going to do, come back and forth. We went back for a second showing a couple days later, and this was a time where you could do that, not recently, but they ended up buying that house all because I was sitting at that open house.
It's great.
So that
I think it works.
It
for
does
you
work.
Doesn't happen often, right?
It works
So
for you
it worked out
guys.
for the seller in that one because someone who came through the open did it. I think we see it a little bit more now because a lot of times houses are only on the market for the weekend. So if there's a Saturday open house and an agent's already showing houses to other clients, they're going to say, oh, go to the open house, go through it, offers are due Sunday. So I think we see more traffic at open houses and those timeframes actually helping to sell a house in that sense. And they see like, oh, there's a lot of people here, people really must want it. But on the flip side, when you have an agent who says, oh, just wait to go to the open house on Sunday in an area like Country that's not going to make it to the
There's
open,
not gonna be an
it's a
open
disservice
Sunday.
to your
Yeah.
client. So I think with open houses, you have to understand the strategy.
Unless it is one of those houses like you said, where it's like, because this is a strategy for some agents, they will put listed as coming soon, and then it'll say open house and showing start after the open house.
Yes.
Well, then you can comfortably tell your client, go to the open house, write my name down.
Right.
You're good. So like that works, right? And that is a strategy that some real estate agents use, and I have no problem with that. It's a sales strategy, right?
Yeah.
It gets you more attention, whatever you want to do. For me, I just think that open houses don't sell that house. Open houses sell other houses. They're marketing tools, right?
For us, it's relationship
for the
building.
agent.
Like, I can walk in. Like if I was to walk in her office and not know Sam, that's going to feel a lot weirder than me walking into an open house and saying like, "Hey, I saw you sold 8 homes last year. You did a great job. Like you're on social media. I wanted to come say hi. I'm a local lender." Like she's going to remember that, right?
Sure.
Like she might say, "Oh, that dude's a weirdo," but like you're going to see pre-approvals from me, right? So it is what it is. And look, we forget this all the time. I haven't did that shit in years.
Yeah, who's this dude with a slick back?
I'll be coming.
Hair.
Yeah. What? Come on, man. Stop playing around.
With the lettuce.
No, honestly, it's like old school things like that work. But again, you're doing new school stuff. Well, 1, you're on a podcast, so congratulations. You're on camera. 2, you're doing a lot of digital staging that I saw is kind of what you're doing with some of your new construction, which is really neat. Like you don't have to go. What people are getting messed up.
Didn't Danny do something cool for you with a video?
Yeah, he did a whole video of the new construction in Bridgeport that I have. Through you guys.
How did it work?
Fantastic. The video was great. I had other agents in my office who saw it on Instagram and were like, who did this? Like, I'm going to need his information.
What was special about it?
It's
like
just...
What was the wow factor of it?
It's just really well done.
It is.
If that makes sense.
It's not cheesy.
It's not. It's not.
Good.
It's not corny.
Kid's fucking good.
You know, you see a lot of videos on Instagram of house tours and stuff like that constantly, and you're starting to see a lot more of it. But some of it's not good, right? So there's a
Did it get one house sold?
Difference. Did it get one house sold? I mean, I put that up, and I had 2 or 3 go under contract not long after. So whether it was time of year and with that, it doesn't matter.
So Danny Bennett makes a difference.
It's exposure. There's eyes on it, right?
Exactly.
So like, because I had 2 or 3 agents reach out to me and said, "Oh, that's Danny that does your show. Like that looks good," because so that's a testament to okay. So not all marketing material is created the same.
No.
Like right, we're trying to sell something right now.
I'd say anybody that I encounter that is looking for like video stuff or like new ways to market their shit, I say you got to reach out to Danny.
He's the guy.
I have no financial gain from saying reach out to Danny. I know that if I give you Danny's number, Danny's going to, number one, He's going to answer his phone. He's going to respond to you, right? He's going to be respectful and professional. He's going to deliver the product that he tells you he's going to deliver, and he's going to wow you with the shit that he does, right? So it's like all those factors, like you want to promote this kid.
Absolutely.
Like I want to promote him.
But say for you guys, it's like, okay, you may spend a couple more dollars on it, right? But now there's agents and I could sell this without it. And it sits and it's like, you probably should have spent a couple dollars in the beginning, right? Like find out what the problems are. Like new construction, we discussed this. Like sometimes new construction in newer areas, people can't visualize the furniture. They can't visualize the style. And that helped it, right? Like that put a cool spin to it.
Yeah.
And at very least, she probably picked up 3 or 4 new agents from it that at least opened their eyes to like, I got to look at this differently. I got to sell different.
I remember the video because you said to me, I think we were sitting here and I think Danny was like doing something with the camera and you were like, you got to see this video that Danny made for Sam.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what is it? And you're like, it's a new construction house that I think it was like kind of a stale listing or something.
Yeah,
right?
it was winter, right? So everything had kind of slowed down.
And he was like super excited. You're like, Danny's video sold this.
Well, because
house.
I said that we were at a coffee meeting. I said, oh, dude, I just staged my house. It's X amount of dollars. And she said, he's not going to pay for it. Nope. Just like, and I like that because there's no like misinterpretation here. No. I'm like, we got to pivot. What the hell can we do?
The video?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So look,
but it was worth it for you.
As an agent,
it was worth for it.
Yes, that was my choice to do. So the builder that I do work with in Bridgeport kind of just lets me do my thing. But he's also.
But he said no.
He's old school. He's not going to stage, right? He's not. That's not what's going to do it for him.
Because he's always got an old school mentality.
Right. He's an old school builder. He builds a fantastic product, and it has always sold itself.
Now,
right?
did you go back to him and were like, "Yo, this made the difference. This new age shit.
Yeah.
You want to get on board with this? Like, did you explain, like, show him the video? Was
no,
like,
he's
man,
one of
really
those
cool.
guys.
I did my thing. Like
okay.
This was to help
Yeah.
in general because I thought, you know what, this is what needs to be done, and if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it 100%. I'm not going to save a little bit of money and say, oh yeah, somebody could do it if it's not going to be good.
Now it's going to get her the next phase of whatever pops out.
And you said you had other agents reach out to you like, what is that video?
I need him to do something else.
That's the power of the social
does.
media piece of our
Absolutely.
industry. Now, like I said, it gets guys in our world thinking differently, right? You could either look at somebody and say, I'm competing against a guy, or, how do I level up to this guy? Or it's just like, what can we do? Like, oh, damn, that dude's doing something really cool. Like, why don't I learn about it and try it?
It's annoying, social media. It's like annoying.
It's annoying.
But it's like a necessary evil in our business, right?
Keeps you somewhat accountable.
Yeah, you got to get like uncomfortable, like comfortable being uncomfortable. Like Danny had me in little girl's pajamas at a video.
That video was
Right?
great.
It was, but it's
something,
like it's
I wouldn't do. Yeah, it's great.
It also, but it gets my daughters involved and stuff.
It is cool.
They think it's funny. They have a good time with it. So it's great. But that also like shows me like I get stuck in my ways, right? So like open houses, I'm like, hey. A lot of agents are like, oh, can I sit open house at your house? And I'm like, what the fuck do I get out of that? But I should probably just be like, yeah, go ahead.
Right, because you never know. You
Like,
never know who's going to walk in that door.
I'm trying to, sometimes because we get a lot of it, right? Like, can I see it early? Can I see it early? I said, well, one, you have to take it as one, they look up to you kind of as a builder. You've done 100 plus of these things. Two, they're all trying to establish, any good agent or anybody in our profession is trying to establish some type of relationship with somebody that they either think is great or could potentially have a partnership, right? Like, and that's why, like, with us, leading back to kind of, we're not transactional in the sense that you have a bunch of my buyers right now because I trust them with you, right? They say, hey, I'm looking here in this zip code, and I send them to you because I know you're going to get the job done. And there's other agents in different parts of the world that we send them to, right? We're always local and how we think they can play out and gel. And you do such a wonderful job with it, right? Because again, we know you're just going to close it. If it's not tomorrow, if it's 6 months from now, who gives a shit?
Right. Doesn't matter.
We know, and the communication's easy, and you're up front, right? Like if you're not happy, you'll let people know, and people in the transaction, like,
right.
But and that's not usually a good thing when you're not happy because you're probably not doing something you're supposed to do.
Well, that's the other thing too. Is like once you've established a relationship, right? So like on the one that we just talked about, where like agents were like begging, like, oh no, let us get in. If Sam had called me and said, yo, I have a buyer. They can't get out of work today. They can only go see it tomorrow. Can you wait for me to show them? Like, please. Out of professional courtesy, we've done business together. We've known each other for a long time. I'm like, sure, I'll stall this other person.
Right.
no problem.
It's reputation of
It's
people.
just
In
reputation.
this, in this business,
but it's like you
very
got to let
important.
me know as soon as you're there.
But if she's
you
the
know what I
type of agent that we deal with a lot of clowns that'll call you on every single one you put up on social media, 3, 4, 5 calls. Then when it comes time to get in, nothing.
Right. All of a sudden, they don't have a buyer.
So
They
it's
never
like, what the
deliver.
hell happened? There's a difference between acting and keeping busy, right? Like, than actually being somewhat busy and doing something. So,
And we've talked about this before. Like, don't set up a showing if you don't have clients. Like, put it as a client preview.
Yeah.
Right.
Or an agent preview.
And an
Then
agent
know.
preview,
Yeah.
and just tell us, like, you know, whoever my agent is on the deal, just like reach out to them and be like, hey, can I go here? Can I film content and can I put it out there? I'm always going to say yes to that.
It's free
if you are
advertising
honest.
for you.
If you are honest and you're saying, hey, I want to go here and film content at your place and put it out there, can I? 100%.
Yep.
Tag me in a fucking video.
Absolutely.
we've had agents do that. And,
Yes.
and I
It's
look
free
at it, and it's
advertising.
smart, too,
But other
because it
agents
looks like
lie
they're
about it.
listing. And it
Other agents lie about it.
Yeah.
I'm like, listen, don't try to make it. I'd have more respect for you if you said, hey, can I go there and get content? 100%.
Yeah.
I totally agree with that business model.
Yeah, why
But
wouldn't
don't
you?
lie to me.
You tell me all the time, like, hey, dude, get out of the office. Come up. Me and Danny are at this spot. Like,
Yeah.
you get free content. And I don't ever really want to do it. And I do it. And that's what
Every time you do it, you're like,
it
man,
drives
I
the
need to do
needle.
more
I
of that.
I
text
didn't
him
wanna do
back.
this.
I'm like, I get 3 leads.
Right.
And
Look,
I
you didn't do
eventually
this.
got here, and I'm glad that I did.
Yes, we are
because,
too.
like you said, you have to get a little uncomfortable, and being on camera does make me a little uncomfortable.
And you
but
didn't
like,
see it. And look,
it is
people
what
just
it
need,
is.
the
You
world
have
needs
to
to
do
know
it.
what you
And
do.
I don't know what
Right?
you're worried about. You're talking to 2 idiots that grew up together that you've
know.
known for a long
She's known
time.
us for
I
a
know.
long
You're
time.
very,
just the camera
You're very
part.
photogenic. You're a good-looking woman. So, like, what are you worried about?
I don't know.
Well, look, over time, this is what we wanted to get you on because you are as consistent. You're showing consistency matters, right? It does matter. You've been in the business. All your business is referral based and past client based, but you're learning new stuff and you're getting new. Look, even us old dogs are kind of getting with the times on
You
how
have
we
to
can push
adjust,
our
right?
how we
To
can push
certain
our
things.
business. And no, we appreciate you coming on. Samantha Vasaturo from Coldwell Banker, Conshohocken. She services the greater Philadelphia area. Amazing buy, sell, residential agent. Anything you need on our end, please hit her up. How can we reach you? What's the best way?
Text, email.
All right. We'll throw your text and email up on the screen. But
You want to
that's
say it real quick, and then Danny will put it on the screen. What's
Just
do you
your
want your
email.
phone number out
Your
there,
email.
your Instagram
Well,
handle, whatever you want.
we could just pop.
You want me to say it, or can it just?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
We'll
I was
edit
like,
it
you
in.
have everything, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and listen, just reach out to any one of us if you need anything buying, selling, refinancing. We'll help you out. For Nick Cessna. Oh, we did want to give a shout to the guys in Ocean City, Alex's Pizza. Friends of the show, sponsors of the show, and just all around great guys are taking a Roxborough staple, putting it down the shore in Ocean City. So good luck to those guys. We appreciate the support. So Ryan Dolan, Nick Cessna, Samantha Vasaturo. We are back for the Atomic Real Estate Show. See you later, guys.
If you enjoyed our episode, please consider supporting the show by rating and reviewing the podcast. Also, check us out on Instagram at Atomic Real Estate Show to find out when new shows drop and to participate in our community Q&As. The Atomic Real Estate Show was brought to you by Direct Subs. Direct Subs is the #1 place for real estate investors to connect with local contractors for their flips, rentals, renovations, and new construction projects.